Welcome back, my friend, to this special episode of the Leadership Synergized podcast. Today, we have the honor of hosting Melissa Davis, the inspiring author of A Reason to Be. This marks our final segment of our journey together, and we're thrilled to explore the depths of her remarkable story with her powerful insights. Over the past few episodes and weeks, we've experienced the emotional evolution of Melissa's life. From the struggles that shaped her to the profound wisdom she imparts through her writing. As she shares her reflections with us today, remember that A Reason to Be isn't just a book, it's a pathway for anyone searching for their own identity and purpose. Melissa, my friend, God bless you and welcome back. Ms. Davis, welcome back. Thank you so much again. I know I thank you in every episode, but this is our final segment together of the Leadership Synergized podcast. And, when I launched the podcast roughly 4 years ago, it was just all about having an opportunity to share with others, people that have come into my life, whether it's for a visit to a restaurant, a place I've never been before, such as when I met you, and to come away with your fascinating book, your first book for that matter, that has impacted my life, and I know has impacted others and will impact others. The book's available, by the way, on Amazon. Before we close out, Ms. Davis, jump in if I don't ask you, just to remind our viewers where they can get the book and how they have that opportunity, so to speak. So what I would like to do, and just take this time going forward, is just tell you what a talent you are. And you told us it took you 20 years or more to get the book together. But really, it's a life, right? We live our lives, and we're writing and telling stories of our life, whether there's to paper, computer, feet punching. We're maybe dictating to an old tape recorder that a few of us older folks still have and use, or maybe it's an AI tool that we dictate to, or some type of editing tool that helps us spell better or help put the grammar together. But I know in your book you reference a number of people, and I know there's a number of people that's been beside you along this journey that have been so encouraging. And just like to give you a chance to talk about those individuals, what they meant to you. And let me just ask, is there a person or a group of people or a moment that really just touched your heart so much that you just knew you were going to move forward? Because we sit here today and just brag about the talent you have, which you do have, in this wonderful book. But there was a lot of sweat and toil behind this, and probably a few tears and some doubts throughout the course of those 20 years.
There were a lot of days where I was like, I'm never going to finish this book. And my husband used to think he was motivating me, and he would tell me, when you finish your book, will you come to the cemetery and read it to me? That would always be like, that
Well, gee, thanks, honey.
it would just upset me. I would be like, I'm not going to finish it then. That's not going to finish my book, because he thought he was being helpful and that was going to motivate me. But all it would do was upset me to where I wouldn't want to write it. And my husband is amazing. My husband is one of the most incredible people, and God really knew what he was doing when he brought him into my life, because he was exactly the person I needed in my life. And one of the things, there's my dedication to my book. There's a part in there where it says, I'm grateful to even the people who broke my heart, because those people taught me a lesson, and I needed that lesson to be able to be the person I am, to write Reason to Be. And all of my experiences in life are what brought me to writing Reason to Be. But the people that inspired the book, there were so many people behind encouraging me to finish the book. Miss Terry, the lady that I was telling you about in another episode, that had me come to her house, it was her that gave me that final push of, I can do this. Because when I sat at her kitchen table and she told me, she said, I would like to see this book as required reading in school. That's how much I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't even finished it at that point. She had just read parts of the book, and she saw something that I was trying to see, but I wasn't fully there yet. but she saw it, and her belief in me is what pushed me to get it done. And so when I was writing the book, I would think about just all the different people in my life, like my grandmother, that I wanted to be proud of me. There's a reference to my friend Playground Patty. She would tell me all the time, "You can come over to my house anytime and we can talk and you can work on your book. I'll be happy to help you, very happy to help you. So please call me anytime." And there's a chapter called Pat's Porch, and that's for my friend Pat. She is 93 years old, and she always has the best advice for me. And I had to include her in my book, so that was my gift to her for her 90th birthday. Was I wrote
Wow.
Pat's Porch as part of the book, and I have had some really great friends. And my friend Lidiane, who was the one who told me to make sure that I named my book Reason to Be instead of something people can't pronounce. Like, she was very helpful to me and very encouraging in the finishing of my book and helping me to put together launching my book and giving me that time. But even working at Evo alongside Chef Eric, he has that same value of the value of his grandmother or the value of his mother and the lessons of life, and to carry those on into the lives that we have now. So my friend, I have had so many good friends that have been there through the whole journey. My friend Janie has listened to me 1,000 times. "Okay, what do you think of this? Read this. What do you think? I like this, but I don't like this part." And then I'd go back and fix it and then put it back into my book. But there's just so many incredible people in my life that helped me to get here.
Ms. Davis, thank you so much for sharing that. And I know there are probably so many more in support, but don't forget yourself. You need to mention yourself, your fortitude, your persistence, your resilience, and knowing myself and trying to step outside of those comfort zones that just appear to get bigger and bigger at times. We need to allow ourselves some grace and forgiveness. And for some of us, and I'm one, that's not easy to do at times. But I commend you so much. Your love for self, your love for service, your love for bringing value is just so evident. And I just want our viewers to hear those words, because this has not been an easy task. Life is not easy. No matter what Staples trying to sell us a few years back with a big red easy button, life is a grind. But grind is not a bad thing. This journey is a grind for Grandma and Lizzie. There's some moments to where it's not so easy, not so comfortable. And there's a lot of doubt and a lot of questions. And even the moment when Grandma and Lizzie first leave home, it's obvious they're doing so because there's some pain involved with where they are at points of their life. And you talked in the last couple of episodes about Grandma knowing what Melissa needed, what Lizzie needed in the book in that fashion. What can you share from your experiences, from the character Lizzie and the experiences you shared in the book, for those who may be struggling right now with not knowing who they are, where their journey even starts at? Whether it's because of difficulty with people in their life or just difficulty with self.
Well, like, and this is a great story for anybody who is trying to figure out where they belong, because in the beginning, Lizzie's big battle with her parents is she really wanted to go away to school. Her dream had always been to go to Georgetown, and that was what she wanted from the time she was in middle school. But as she's going through the journey with Grandma, she realizes it was never really just about one school. It was about finding herself. It was about making those choices for herself and knowing that they were her choices, not someone else's choices, that she got to choose her own life. And that's what really the book is about. It's about thinking that you want one thing and finding out that you want something different, but making that choice for yourself. And so it's about like owning your mistakes. It's about saying, okay, yes, I made a mistake over here, but we can come back from that. And that's what the book is about life is messy, life is hard. You're you're going to grieve things, and there's a moment in the book, and I remember the day that I wrote it, and I was my one of my children was really going through something really hard, and I was walking out of the store, and I walked by a car, and I jumped back because I thought that I was walking through water as I was going by that car. And I was like, it's almost like drowning. You're all drowning in something. People are drowning in debt. People are
Mhm.
drowning in grief. They're
Mhm.
drowning in things that aren't even real because they can't even feel like they can get their head above water. They just need somebody to reach their hand in and pull them out. And that's really what life is sometimes. Life sometimes is knowing when to ask for help and letting someone help you. So that's what reason to be is about. It's about accepting that sometimes you don't know best. Sometimes you need someone to help you find your reason to be.
I love that. And grandma helped you and helped Lizzie in that fashion. Your message is one of very simple aspect. We're here for you. You need us in that setting. The doors are never permanently locked, whether there's a window or a second door or not in that aspect. And, I always correlated that you two came up with the right title for much of it is I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And for me and maybe many others, it's hard to find something you're looking for when you don't know what you should be looking for, which then says you don't know where you need to start looking in that aspect. A reason to be helps anyone who reads the book find where to start. It can be a deep breath, it can be an exhale, it can be a clearing of the mind. And then there's that starting point. And that's what I found with this book. And just such a great talent, just such a wonderful book. And Ms. Davis, I know I've stated this a lot. Your book has touched me. I know it's going to touch many others. But as you got that box there at Evo Italia, the restaurant your husband delivered, your first book, and as you were opening, what in your mind as the book began to hit the market, whether it was strangers or people that knew you, what were you going to use as the gauge on whether or not it was successful? You had been successful.
I think I never really was using the gauge of how many books I sold. It was how many people would come back to me and tell me
Mhm.
what resonated with them in the book.
Mhm.
Um, I have a social media Instagram account, and I have someone that helps me with posting the things, but I get messages back of people their favorite part of the book, who they would take on the road trip with. People message me all the time and say, I loved your book so much because it reminded me of my grandmother. It reminded me of this. It makes me want to take this trip with someone. And the other day, I myself asked the question, who would you take on this road trip? And I got so many messages of, I would take my daughter, I would take my granddaughter, I would take my best friend. And, those are all like your people, your ride or die people of we're going together and we're going to figure it out.
So thinking back on the process you utilized for writing the book, and I'm going to make this a two-part question. The process itself, what's something you learned in regards to, you've mentioned, and we've not shared this yet, but you're in the process of gathering, putting together and outlining perhaps and writing book number two,
Yeah.
which I want to be on the early list on that piece, by the way. I'm being selfish in that regard, yes. But what did you learn through that process you feel will enhance as you go through with the second book? And then is there anything from this first book, those 300 and some pages you dropped out that you maybe left out as you went back and considered, read the book yourself? I maybe could have left that one sentence or page in there.
There's a lot of things that I would have liked to have left in there. And so that's the beautiful part of writing book 2 is the other night I was at work and I was walking by some ladies that would be what my grandmother's age was then. And I thought, you know, I can tell the stories from grandma's point of view in my next book because she giving it away now, but she makes some debuts in the next book, even though it's not a series. But you see a little bit of grandma in the next book. And I'm like, oh, she can tell the stories of those places that we had to take out from her perspective so that I don't lose that.
I like that. Well, I think you're giving anything away because I would expect that if I would ask this question, you would tell me that grandma is living you right now on the camera aspect that she's never left.
I would like to feel that way. I I loved her so much. You have no idea how much I loved her, but well, I guess you do because I said
It's
to
in the
someone
book.
yes, I I said to someone the other day, I said, reason to be was my long love letter goodbye to my grandmother
Now
because
I have to ask you from the book piece. If I recall, grandma came to you, right? For the final exit that night as you started your journey.
yeah, so I initially went to her house to use her phone and then she said she would run away with me. And I thought she was just being nice and saying, I'll run away with you just to make me feel better. But no, she was ready. She was like, okay, I'll be in the car. I've already got my bags down here. And she had this brown leather suitcase and and it had like a buckle on the side of it. And she was like, you aren't ready? I was like, no, I thought you were kidding.
I love
So
that.
it was a great adventure of half my clothes don't match because I had to hurry and get some things together to go.
What a start, but what a life of success and significance that you've had in that regard, largely due to grandma, without question. Ms. Davis, if you could give someone one thing in your life that you've learned through your experiences, whether it's how journeys will have different routes, roads, detours to take, how ensuring fear doesn't stop you for picking for picking up the suitcase and moving next town down the road to see if that's what's meant for you, or serving in the food industry as a restaurant manager, or taking this step as an author and not giving up on this goal, or not losing sight of the heart and soul of an individual or individuals who played such a key role in the development of life for all of us, you in this particular perspective, what would you guide them with?
My biggest takeaway of my life, of writing the book, of working in the restaurant business is own your stuff. Like you just have to don't don't worry about what other people think because the person that it matters to is what you think, what makes you feel good. I love working in the restaurant business. And when my children were small, even probably when they weren't so small, when they were older, I would always worry, oh, I'm going to go to whatever this is, and then I have to leave early. And then all the other moms that stay at home and whatnot are going to be wondering where I'm going. I'm going to my waitress job. But I had made a very good living serving, working in a restaurant. So you can't let other people's judgment decide on your life. You're the judge of your own life. And at the end of the day, I would always teach my children at the end of the day, it's what's between you and God that matters. It has nothing to do with anyone else. And if you and God are good with it, then go with it. Because if it makes you feel good, then do it. If it doesn't make you feel good, then don't do it. Anything that makes you feel yucky, don't. You have to go with what your heart leads you to, and you have to have faith. God has a plan that's greater than the plan. He sees the big picture. He knows what the big picture is, and you've got to try to look at that big picture. Where is this going to help you later?
Thank you so much for your reference to faith and God. Thank you for sharing that in the writing and the book, and thank you for staying true to you and your values. It meant the world to me. I think your faith and your reference and your your scripture alignment, God, those aspects have really allowed the book to just continue to grow with me. And I'm so happy you left that in there, my friend.
That was one of the things that I struggled with. I would pray about it a lot, that about what to do, because when I finished my book, I had someone who wanted to publish it, and I emailed them, told them I'd finished the book. And then I worried that they were going to want to change things. They were going to want to take out the scripture. And that was one of the things that made me publish the book myself, because I have a friend that's in the music business. And I said, what would you do if you were me? Would you publish the book yourself, or would you let them publish it? And my friend said, no one owns me. I own me. And I say what I do. So if you are not doing it for the money and you're doing it for the message you're trying to send, then do it yourself, because then no one owns you.
I love it. Well said. Well done. I just want to, as we wrap up our time together, Ms. Davis, you got up early morning, Eastern Standard Time, so we could record this. As you're in a very hectic window of time schedule-wise, actually leaving in the next 24 hours to work on your second book, again, which I'm so eager to see and read. And I just can't thank you enough. And on behalf of our viewers, our listeners, I cannot thank you enough for this. And it just means the world to me. I thank God that he put you in my life to where I had a chance to meet you and get this copy on December 1st, 2025. I thank Evo Italian for having the restaurant. I thank John Maxwell for all he's meant, I know, to you. He means to me and so many others in this world. I thank Mark Cole, John's protege, if you will, who means so much. Kelly Merbler and Aaron, John's right-hand person to help bring this all together. I can't thank you enough and your family, and can't thank your grandma enough, and your family of service in that regard. And I just thank God for you and this book. And what I'm going to do for my viewers, as we launch our episode, the first 10 individuals respond to me and let me know your reason to be, I'm going to buy you a copy of the book, and I'm going to have it drop shipped to you. It's just such an impactful aspect. And Ms. Davis, let's tell the viewers one final time, where can they purchase the book? If they want to reach out to you and give you some input, or just share their views and share their story with you, how can they contact you?
I have a website. It's Melissa Davis. I think it's melissadavis.com, but it may be melissadavisauthor.com. It's terrible that I don't know that. But I have a website. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook and TikTok, but I don't know how to answer the messages on TikTok. So if you message me there, it might be a little bit. But if you message me on Instagram or on my website, I'm happy to send you a copy if you want to buy a copy from me, or if you just want to tell me how the book made you feel, or if you have questions about the book. I love to talk about the book. It's one of my favorite things to do. But you can buy it on Amazon. It's on ebook, paperback, and hardcover. And coming soon, the audiobook that I'm recording myself.
You.
Thank you.
Good for you.
I struggled with if I could do it, and it's taken me longer than I planned, but I'm doing it. And then you can also buy it at Barnes and Noble. You may have to order it, because I'm not sure it's available in every city, because I did have someone go to the Evansville Barnes and Noble, and they had to order it for them. But to Questa, they have it in the store, but Barnes and Noble, or you can message me and I can send you a signed copy.
And it is A Reason to Be. It's a novel by Melissa Davis. It's the story of her life. A lot of truth in there with Liz and Grandma, Melissa and Grandma, of improbable runaways. It's a story that will change your life and allow you to reflect, continue to find your journey forward as you identify your reason to be. Ms. Davis, thank you, my friend. God bless you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the stories in the book, and keep doing what you're doing and keep being you, my friend.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate you so much. It meant the world to me when I got your letter, and I was honored to be invited to be on your podcast. So thank you.
Well, the honor is mine and everyone viewing this. Please know we love you, and keep sharing your stories and keep God out there with you, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
And for those of you, I'm just going to share the inscription. It's right here. One more time. I know Miss Davis could do it from memory, but I want to make sure I don't mess it up because she was so heartfelt in writing this the first time I met her. She says that pictures tell the story of your life. Make it a bestseller with an exclamation point, few X's and O's in the page. Go out and find your pictures, make your pictures, develop them, and create your bestseller. God bless you all, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
As we wrap up our conversation, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to Melissa Davis. Ms. Davis, my friend, your journey, your dedication to your craft, and your unwavering spirit have brought so much value and joy to me and our listeners. You've shown us the importance of resilience, the power of community, and the beauty of finding one's purpose. Ms. Davis, your book, A Reason to Be, is not just a reflection of your life, but a beacon of hope for all who are searching for their own reason to be. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your courage in sharing your story and for inspiring us all to embrace our journeys, no matter how challenging they may be. We are immensely grateful for the wisdom you've shared throughout this series, and we look forward to witnessing the impact your work will continue to have on the lives of others. Thank you so very, very much, Ms. Davis, for your time, your stories, and the light you shine. Until next time, my friend, keep pursuing your reason to be.